What's up guys? I've got a deck review for you today, really quick one and nothing too special. Something I'm sure a lot of you guys have seen already. This is just the list that I am testing at the moment. A couple of maybe interesting card choices. And that is the 1-1 split between Rescue Stretcher and Super Rod. And the Kukui and Hex Maniac. So let's just go over the list and see what we've got here. One of our main attackers is Espeon GX. It has 3 decent attacks. The first for 1 Psychic Energy is Psybeam, does 30 and confuses your opponent's Pokemon. Confusion is, I think, a really good status condition. Forces your opponent really to think about whether they want to flip the coin and see if they take the damage. Alternatively, it forces them to retreat. So just a really good, basic attack. And you can use that attack pretty much on your first turn because you use the basic Eevee, which has got Energy Evolution. You attach a Psychic Energy from your hand, and you can evolve that Eevee up straight away into the Espeon and use that Psybeam attack. Second attack for a Psychic and double colorless is called Psychic, and it does 60 plus 30 more damage for each energy on your opponent's Pokemon. So if your opponent starts stacking energy on the field, you can do some pretty decent damage. 2 energy, you're at 120 with a choice band 150. So good numbers. And together with a Psybeam and trying to force your opponent to retreat back onto the bench, you can actually make use of the GX attack as well, which is Divide GX. It lets you put 10 damage counters on your opponent's Pokemon in any way you like. So that lets you take a couple of sneaky knockouts. If they've got a couple of Pokemon on the bench with 150 damage on them, you can snipe those out and take some quick prizes or multiple prizes per turn. We play 1 Flareon, which is actually there to even out some of our bad matchups. One of our bad matchups being Metagross GX. And this really just helps us deal with that, giving us the fire typing as well, so we can hit those for weakness. The same with Decidueye, so just a really good inclusion to even those matchups up. Then our other attacker is this Garbodor with the Trasher Launch attack. Again, you guys have probably seen this many times, 20 times the amount of items in your opponent's discard pile. So this can stack up really quickly, really good late game. An Acid Spray for a Psychic and double colorless doing 70, flipping a coin and discarding an energy if you get heads. We also play 1 of the Garbotoxin Garbodor to shut down abilities, and 3 Float Stones to activate that Garbotoxin. I've chosen to include a Hex Maniac over a 4th Float Stone. I just think it's good in terms of early game being able to access that Hex Maniac by playing down something like a Tabulele, using the Wonder Tag ability to get that supporter, and playing that to shut your opponent down. Other cards we play: 2 Field Blower to discard tools and also gets those tools in the discard pile as items. As I mentioned, the 1-1 split of Rescue Stretcher and Super Rod. We play 4 Ultra Ball to search out our Pokemon, discarding 2 cards to do that. And we play 4 Via Seeker to get back our valuable supporters. Our supporter line, pretty standard. We're playing a 1 of Bridget, as I mentioned, the 1 of Hex Maniac, 2 Lysander to bring up an opponent's Pokemon off their bench, 3 N to shuffle back and draw as many cards as we have prizes, 1 Professor Kukui to get that 20 extra damage and draw 2 cards, 4 Sycamore just for good consistency, 3 Choice Band to get that extra 30 damage on EXs and GXs, the 3 Float Stones I mentioned, and then 4 Double Colorless and 8 Psychic Energy. I've upped the Psychic Energy count. I was playing between 6 and 7, but I find that 8 just makes the deck a little bit more consistent and really helps you get that turn 1 Eevee Energy Evolution. So let's jump onto the ladder and see if we can get a quick game with the deck. Let's see what we get, what we come up against. You'll see also I've included webcam in my videos now, so you'll see my beautiful face on camera. And what you'll also notice is that we've got a fantastic animation at the beginning of our videos now. Really kind of a friend of mine to do that for me. He owns a design studio, Everloo. You'll see it referenced at the end in the credits. and I really like to thank him and the team for putting that together for me, and just adding that extra touch of class, I think, to the video. So we start with 2 Eevee. We are going first. We won the coin flip. We have a choice here. We can play Bridget and get a couple of Trubbish on the bench, but let's see what we're up against. It's another Psychic, so it could be a mirror match. Yep, it's a mirror match. So I think in the mirror, I would actually like to go for the Bridget here. And let's have a quick look. Yeah, I'm going to actually play this full line down. I think the Espeon's going to be a fantastic attacker in this matchup. And I'm actually going to choose to attach to the bench. Our opponent might use that Acid Spray turn 1, flipping a coin and discarding a Pokemon. An energy if they get heads, so I don't really want to attach to the active. And we really would aim to put an energy onto the active to use that energy evolution. So let's see what our opponent's able to do. They're going to do the same. Get their own energy evolution off and bring up that Espeon GX. Alright, so there it is. Big bad Espeon. Got a lot of cards in the hand here that I don't really want to discard, so I'm going to attach, well, I'm going to evolve the bench. And let's see what's here. Just the Bridget on my opponent's side, and I'm going to actually play an N. Could play Sycamore, get the cards in the discard, but I don't really think it's necessary at this point. Gonna go for the energy evolution myself, and we don't actually want to knock that Trubbish out. We want to be able to get time to get more energy on the field and potentially attack that Espeon on the bench there. So I will go for the Psybeam. Our opponent can evolve out of this into a Garbodor, or attach a Floatstone and retreat, but let's see what he does here. Espeon does have that 1 energy retreat cost, so if he does confuse us, I will most likely just retreat into the benched Espeon with the double colorless on it and attack into his Espeon, hitting for weakness. So he goes for another energy evolution and then looks to put my bench down to 3. So tough choice here, but I think I'm going to get rid of the Eevee. I think the Garbs will be useful late game, so let's see what he does here. So we do get 1 item in the discard pile, discarding 2 ends and Sycamore. Well, he did Sycamore for the turn. So let's see what we can get here. I don't think this Garb is going to be particularly useful, so I'm actually going to Ultra Ball here. Get rid of the Hex Maniac and the Garb. Get myself a Trash Launch Garbodor. I'll put that down on the bench. I'm going to put the Choice Band onto the benched Espeon, and then I'm going to Via Seeker and play an N. So we have been forced to put a few items in the discard ourselves. And I could have held a tool just in case he has a field blower, but I'm pretty comfortable here to actually go for the GX attack ourselves, leaving this Trubbish active. And I think I'm going to spread some damage around, because if he's got 1 on each of those, then I'll take a knockout on the bench. Doesn't really make a massive difference where I put this, but we may as well. I'll just put that there. It's fine. We're pretty much hitting everything for weakness in this matchup, so it doesn't make a massive difference. He gets a Floatstone onto the active, so he can retreat that guy now. onto the bench. We've got 2 items in the discard, 3 now that he's going to Field Blower off that Choice Band. So 60 with the Garbotoxin, 120 for weakness. It's enough to knock out our Garb and enough to put a serious dent in our active. But he'll most likely just go with this guy now and go for his own knockout. So playing it in, putting us down to 5. And let's see what he has. So 3 in the discard from my opponent, so 120 as well on our side. And now we probably will just be trading 1-shots on each other for the next foreseeable future. So let's get going with that and see what happens. So we can attach to the active. I think I'm going to play down the Lele here. I'm going to go for an N. I think we need to put our opponent's hand size down. Not a massive fan of such a big hand size on my opponent's side. I could play down the Field Blower, discarding the Stadium. But I'd prefer to have more tools on my opponent's side of the field before I put another item in the discard pile. So I'm going to play the N. Alright, so we're doing plenty of damage here to knock him out for weakness. Going down to 3. And our opponent will go down on their turn, most likely to 2, if he gets a double colorless here. Going to evolve that Garbotoxin Garbodor on the bench there. And yep, he'll go for the Psychic, so going down to 2. We'll bring up our Garbotoxin over here. And let's have a look. So how many items in the discard? 1, 2, 3. So 60, 120. We will be short with the Choice Band. We will be doing 60, 90, which is 180, which is enough. At this point in time, we've got 1, 2, 3 in the discard. I'm happy to put. I'm happy to put one more there. I think I will. I want to make sure that we're set up for the next turn with an attacker. Just when we get in down to 1 potentially. So I'm going to play the Kukui. Thin our hand out a bit more and go for the Trash Launch. 220. Going down to 1 prize card. Our opponent is 2. We don't have enough in the discard for him to take a knockout on the Lele. So let's see what he does. Teammates here will get him a Choice Band potentially. But because he's played the Teammates, that leaves us with energy in hand. Plenty of damage to knock out any Garb that he puts up into play. So let's see what he goes for here. Just going for the Trash Launch for 160. We'll put our Garb up. 1, 2, 3, so that's 60. 120 with weakness. So we'll just Trash Launch, taking the knockout and taking the game. So nice quick victory in the mirror match. And let's see if we can get one more game possibly. Up against a pure psychic deck. Pure psychic, I'm not sure what that is, but let's find out. No Espeon because there's no colorless. Could be a Lunala type deck. Not sure. We are going first with the EV, so I'm going to put that up as the active and put a Trubbish down on the bench. Let's see what we can get in this matchup, see what we're up against. Okay, so this is probably a quad wob deck. Quad wob deck. Which means if we attach to the active, we will probably lose that energy on our opponent's turn. But let's see what we draw into here off these mulligans. If we draw into another energy, I'm actually quite happy to go ahead and attach. He plays a Pokepuff. I've seen a lot of the quad wob lists actually playing that. So let's see how much our opponent can get set up for here. Does he start with a lone Wobbuffet? 60 plus Kukui. Yeah, we can't take a knockout turn 1, that's for sure. But let's see where we get here. It is freezing cold up here, so I am feeling a little bit on the cold side. I'm going to hold the Eevee. He might play the Pokepuff, but as I said, that is... Alright, so our opponent immediately scoops. I think the Psychic weakness, possibly just too much to overcome. Alright, let's try get one more in there. Maybe we'll come up against something a bit more competitive. See if we can get our own Team Rocket's handiwork full art at the end of the ladder. So maybe our opponent got his by grinding out the ladder. Haven't really been too focused on finishing off the ladder, but it's always good to get those full art trainers if you can. Especially if you already have them, then you're able to trade the ones you do have. So we start with the mulligan, and we've lost the coin flip, so our opponent's going to go first. And let's see what we're up against. If he's playing something with psychic resistance, it's always a bit more difficult. We are giving him a bunch of mulligans now as well. And he's going first. So not ideal. And we start lone Trubbish. So let's see what we've got. We've got the Bridget, so we can Bridget, get out the EVs, evolve that up. We can close down the Trubbish, retreat, and confuse our opponent's active. So we get an Ult of the Moon coming down. So giving Dark and Psychic Energy attached Pokemon free retreat, or not free, but reduced retreat. So we get one more Trubbish. I'm going to play the Bridget. Like I said, I think it's the play here. Go with... let's go with 2 EVs for now. I don't want to put too many targets down on the bench. I think that's fine. Let's put energy onto the one. Go for the energy evolution. We've got our recovery cards are there. We prized a lot of VS Seekers. Alright, so we prized 2 VS Seekers, 1 Ultra Ball, 1 Float Stone, and what looks like 1 double colorless. Yeah. So, not great prizes, but all the same, let's see what we can do here. Like I said, we're going to Float Stone that active retreat, and we'll go for the Confusion. I'm tempted here to play the Field Blower now, getting rid of that stadium. Just to stop the free retreat on the Lele. I mean, you can retreat anyway by discarding the energy, but we want to keep the energy off the field, so forcing him to pay the retreat cost. We do have another Field Blower in the deck. EXP share goes down onto the Lele. And our opponent discards their hand, drawing 7 new cards. Putting 4 items in the discard pile and playing an Ultra Ball, putting another item in the discard pile. So that's 5 in the discard. Unfortunately not playing an in. So not helping us out of our pretty miserably dead hand. So our opponent Ultra Balls and we see a baby Yveltal come down and Max Elixir. Getting a Dark Energy onto that Yveltal. Being able to retreat, putting down another stadium, and then going for that Oblivion Wing for 30. Putting a Dark Energy onto the benched Darkrai. So 3 energy in play so far. We get another Psychic. I'm actually going to go with the bench here. Evolve up another Espeon. And I'm going to leave the damaged one up there, but I'm going to play down one more Trubbish and go for the Psybeam. Confusing our opponent's active, so forcing the retreat into the bench. Going for a Fan Club here, so you can get a Lele or a Shaman. Let's see what he goes for. The Lele will only let him draw a supporter for next turn. So Darkrai and a Lele. Lele for next turn. Getting another Darkrai on the bench. Does he have an energy attachment for turn? Doesn't look like it. Gonna put the Lele up to take a hit. And now I think we're gonna have to discard one of our precious versus Seekers to get our own Lele. And since he's got one in hand, I think we can leave him with that. Just go for a Sycamore, getting a fresh hand of 7 cards here. Alright, so we get the Garb down. I'm actually going to retreat into the new one. I'm going to attach here. Let's see how many items. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So 140 less 20, 120. I'm going to hold the choice band for now. And I'm going to go for the Psychic. We can maybe get a Divide GX off later on and take some sneaky knockouts. So leaving more damaged Pokemon on the bench is always good. Gets an energy onto the Darkrai. Plays down the Lele. Let's see what he goes for here. Probably a Sycamore. Yep, going for a Sycamore. Going to discard his hand and draw 7 new cards. So now we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8 items in the discard. Gonna bring the Oblivion Wing Yveltal up and hit us for 30. And gonna accelerate one of those Dark Energies out of the discard pile onto the bench. So getting a lot of energy in play here, slowly ramping up. Which is unfortunate. But I think we can start putting some pressure onto our opponent here. And at this point I am going to Field Blower away. I'm going to use my Field Blower again. Going to get rid of that stadium and going to bring up one of the Darkrai. Choice Band the active, and I'm going to go for a Psybeam and confuse it. So forcing either another stadium to come down or to pay the energy for retreat. He's got one more stadium, so there goes that idea. But still spreading the damage around, meaning we can go for the divide at some point. So we've now got 6 energy in play. So hitting for 140. Does he get a choice band down? Max elixir, so 160. Fury Belt here will let him get the knockout. Alright, so gonna go for the knockout and just 10 short. So we have some choices. I think we're going to, as I said, place the damage and get as much damage on the field as we can now. Giving us lots of options for that divide. Places to put damage down, take multiple prizes. He's going to bring up the Oblivion Wing and take the knockout with the 30. Just ramping even more damage onto the bench. So we can put 50 on each of these guys and take 4 prizes in this turn, so that will also take energy off the field. I'm going to attach to the Garb, and then I'm going to go for that divide. I'm going to put 5 over here. And I'm going to put 5 over here. So going down to 2 prizes. We get a Versus Seeker, and what do we get off of these two? Ultra Ball and an N. So not too bad. Alright, so he gets another energy on the field. That's 2, 3, okay, so we've got 7. Doing 160 with the Darkrai. He gets a Fury Belt or a Choice Band. He'll get the knockout here. Okay, so he's got the Choice Band. Imagine he'll retreat into that guy. And gonna play the N. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So 10 in the discard. We'll put the Floatstone Trubbish up. Just check again that we do have the 10 in there. But if there's 10 in there, so it's 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So that's 200 damage. Less than 20 is 180. We'll retreat into the Garb and Trash Launch for the knockout. Taking the game against Turbo Darkrai. Great guys, I hope you enjoyed those quick games and the deck profile. Let me know what you think. I've been toying around with a couple of different one-off supporters, and yeah, let me know what you think of the list, what you would change, what you'd change in the channel, what kind of content you'd like. And as always, if you could like, comment and subscribe. Trying to work my way up to the 100 subscriber mark, so whatever help you can give will be great, and I look forward to the next video. Cheers guys.